Hello friends, I am Prashant V. Singh and you're watching Times Network. We are back with another exciting interview. Today, we have a personality who is a marketing marvel, branding and strategy expert, innovation enthusiast, customer development champion, and much more. His recent campaign on oral health has become talk of the town, since it has a very deep and powerful message. To know more about the super viral campaign, let's welcome Mr. Gunjit Jain, who is Executive Vice President of Marketing for Colgate Palmolive India Limited. Mr. Gunjit Jain, welcome to Times Network.
Thank you so much for having me over.
So, Mr. Jain, let me tell you that people are really surprised beyond imagination that this campaign has gone super viral because they thought it is something Indianis Dentris, as you called it, but now eventually it turned out to be a toothbrush. So tell us about this campaign. What was the initial idea? How did this originated in your mind? And how did it actually execute?
Fantastic. So, before I get into the campaign, let me give you a brief background as to, where this thought germinated from. Over the last more than 8 decades, Colgate has had the purpose in this country to help improve India's oral health and beauty. And one aspect of oral health is toothbrushes. 1 out of 2 Indians today use a frayed toothbrush, which is also called a flowering toothbrush. And what this leads to is that a flowering toothbrush cleans less than half as effectively as a new toothbrush, leading to very high risk of outcomes like 80% higher likelihood of having stains, 40% higher likelihood of having sensitivity or gum problems. And the point is that, brushing is such a chore in the morning that people do not even notice that their toothbrush is now flowering. Therefore, we had to come up with this campaign so that something that you do not notice is presented to you in a way that you can then never again unnotice. And that's where this campaign came from.
Any detail or data that you can give us that how many Indians use this flower kind of toothbrush in India?
So we've got very, very concrete data, and that data tells us that 1 out of 2 Indians, 53% to be precise, are currently using a flowering toothbrush. So it's a very, very high number.
Okay. And what has been the consumer response to this amazing campaign so far? Any insights or takeaways?
Yeah, so the consumer response has been extremely positive. It's been extremely positive because we've been able to stop them in their tracks and present a toothbrush to them in a way which is so surprising that something that they do not notice every day, now they cannot unnotice. As a result of which, what's happening is that, we are being able to improve awareness about frayed toothbrushes or flowering toothbrushes, create awareness about what harm it leads to as far as oral health is concerned. It is also shifting attitude of people in a positive direction towards therefore wanting to replace it. And I'm pretty sure that this will lead to a behavior change as well, where people will end up replacing their toothbrushes more often than what they do currently.
Okay, and it has been noticed that there is a rise in the premium and specialized oral care products as well. So how is Colgate innovating to meet the evolving consumer needs?
Okay, Prashant, in fact, I'd love to counter that statement a little bit. What I'd like to say is that actually oral care as a category has lagged premiumization as compared to other similar personal care or health categories. And it is the responsibility of Colgate as the market leader to drive premiumization much harder than what we've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
To drive premiumization, it all has to start with the consumer, which means that we have to offer higher order benefits through superior products. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Preventative health is a higher order benefit for which the superior product that we've got is Colgate Total. And that's something that we've been presenting to the consumers. Another higher order benefit is whitening, teeth whitening. And that's where we've got a proposition which is called Colgate Visible White. And very recently, we launched Colgate Visible White Purple Toothpaste, which instantly color corrects yellow tones to give you whiter teeth. Another innovation that we came up with recently is a Visible White Booster Gel, which is not a toothpaste. It's a topical gel that people can apply for 14 days and get transformative results as far as whitening is concerned. So in summary,
Okay.
we are lagging premiumization with respect to, versus the other categories. To drive it harder, we need superior products that can offer higher order benefits, and we are leading the way as far as preventative health, whitening, and some of the other segments are concerned.
So very apt question here. You mentioned the three kind of these space. So any differentiation that you want to highlight here? This is just for consumers, so as to understand what's actually lies in their toothpaste. This purple one and Colgate Total and Visible White.
Yeah, so based on the benefits that people are seeking, we have differentiated technologies with unique active ingredients that can offer that benefit in a superior way. So, for
Okay.
example, Colgate Total, it's got a patented dual zinc and arginine technology, which
Okay.
fights bacteria and therefore solves the root cause of oral health problems, because bacteria tend to be the root cause of majority of the oral health problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one is a patented product with multiple patents against it, very, very widely proven all across the world. Colgate Visible White, on the other hand, is not about preventative health, but about an add on benefit of teeth whitening. And over
Okay.
there, our technologies therefore deliver against that. Active oxygen technology is something that we've got on one product. The other one has got, color correction technology, Colgate Visible White that I just mentioned to you, which color corrects yellow tones instantly. So you can be ready for a moment where you need whiter teeth. So yeah, in summary, unique technologies cater to the benefits delivered through superior products.
Okay. So we spoke about consumers. So any what kind of key shifts you have noticed in consumer behavior that is actually fueling the growth in the oral care category per se? And how is Colgate staying ahead of the curve?
One particular change which has happened in this category over the last 1 decade is that every Indian household now has a toothpaste at home, which means
Okay.
that the penetration of the category has become 100%. Whether it is
Okay.
urban, whether it is rural, every Indian household has a toothpaste at home. And not many categories can boast of this. There are very few categories in India which can say that the category penetration is universal. So it's
Yeah.
an achievement to be proud of for a market leading
Yeah.
company like ours. However, as now there is a toothpaste in every household, category penetration is no longer a growth driver. The growth drivers now have to be either higher per capita consumption, which means that people should use toothpaste more than what they do today, or it has
Okay.
to be premiumization. We've already spoken about premiumization, but I'll talk about per capita consumption. Even though there is a toothpaste in every household, people do not use it as frequently as they should. In urban India, for example, 80% urban Indians do not brush twice a day, they brush only once a day.
Okay.
In rural India, 55% of rural Indians do not even brush daily, they brush occasionally. And as a result of this, there are multiple oral health issues which are there in the country. So, the big growth driver for us and a health positive outcome for the consumers is going to be if urban Indians start brushing twice a day, if rural Indians at least start brushing daily before we encourage them to brush twice a day, that will lead to better health outcomes for Indians and at the same time drive category growth. And being market leaders, we are the ones who are the best placed to be able to drive this change.
So, Gunjit, when it comes to the oral health movement, what are the core objectives, and how is it will help in tackling India's oral hygiene challenges?
Very good question. Like I started our chat today, I said that our mission has been for several decades to help improve India's oral health and beauty. And at a scale of India, if our vision is to improve oral health and beauty, it cannot be an oral health moment or an oral health month. It has to be an oral health movement because this will take time, effort, resources, patience, persistence. So that's why we are calling it an oral health movement. Now, what is oral health movement all about? Oral health movement is to help improve India's oral health and beauty. Why? Because awareness of issues is low, the right habits are not necessarily there, And there are enough and more risks to Indians as far as oral health is concerned. And let me explain these one by one.
Okay.
Awareness is low, issues are high. 8 out of 10 Indians have cavities, only 1 out of 10 realize that they do. 5 out of 10 Indians have a gum problem, only 1 out of 10 realize that they do. Everybody is
Okay.
supposed to be going to a dentist for regular checkups. Only 1 out of 10 Indians end up going to a dentist in a year. Now, along with this, there is lack of awareness and there are loads of issues. Why is that the case? Why is the overall load of issues so high? It's high because of the kind of foods and drinks that we as Indians have started consuming now. There's a
Yeah.
lot of processed food, processed sugar, so on and so forth. There are also systemic diseases that people are contracting more than before, like diabetes. And all of these things put Indians at a much higher oral health risk than before. And while the pace at which all of this is going up, people's oral health habits have not caught up. So our job is to make people realize that these things are missing in their lives, is to motivate them to get to the right brushing habits, encourage urban Indians to brush twice a day, encourage rural Indians to brush daily, encourage every Indian to replace their toothbrush once in 3 months, and encourage every Indian to also visit a dentist. And that's what this entire program is all about. All the activations, all the inputs are towards this, which will lead to better health outcomes for Indians, will also therefore drive category growth.
So you spoke about dentist, you spoke about the awareness and everything. So how is Colgate looking to transform the oral care routines per se?
Yeah, so Colgate is going to be, be on this journey with patience and persistence as far as the oral health movement is concerned. Uh, we are going to be running programs, activations, along with the government, along with the right health bodies, dental bodies, ourselves. We are actually inviting anybody or everybody who can partner with us in this entire cause of the oral health movement, so that we can encourage people towards all of these habits. We started our journey many years ago. We've got a program which is called Bright Smiles Bright Futures, where we go to rural schools in India, educate children about what the right brushing habits need to be. For decades we've been at it, and we've contacted more than 180 million kids so far. We've forged partnerships with government bodies that represent a very large percentage of India's population, and we've been coming up with campaigns to raise awareness and drive attitude shift and behavior shift as well. There was a campaign that was called the Sweet Truth, which came up 1.5 years back, where we wanted to encourage people to brush at night, urban Indians to brush at night. There's a separate program which is getting initiated in rural India, and the Indianis Dentris that we spoke about is a program to encourage people to replace their toothbrushes. So a lot of activity will keep on happening, and we invite anybody or everybody who want to join us in this cause.
Very apt question here. In the long run, what do you think that this campaign, especially the toothbrush campaign, flower campaign, is going to deepen the bond between Colgate and consumers?
Yeah, so bond between Colgate and consumers, I will talk about that. But more importantly, I think the most important thing is that if people start replacing their toothbrushes more often, it will be better for their oral health, and that is our primary objective here. But yeah, because Colgate is doing it in dental interest of this country, it will improve the bond with the consumers, because consumers will see Colgate as a brand that is relevant to be in touch with, because we are raising the right issues, also offering the right solutions. It will also end up creating a sense of expertise for the brand. We are already the oral care expert in this country, and those credentials will only go up because people will realize that we understand them better,
Yeah.
and offer solutions that are in their interest. So yeah, it should improve the bond. It should improve our expertise credentials. It should improve our relevance credentials as well.
Would you like to share any surprising or out of the box kind of feedback that you have got with respect to this campaign?
Yeah, so the interesting feedback that I would love to share is that I showed this video to my dad, And he's the one who's always used a flowering toothbrush for years, but never noticed it. And when he saw this particular video, it stuck in his mind. And the next day I saw that there was a new toothbrush in the bathroom.
That's the
So
impact.
something that a son could not do, creativity has.
Yes.
And that's the power of, a campaign that's creative and impactful enough that it can change behavior. So
Yeah,
I think that's a personal story that I'd love to share, and would encourage people to look at this and also share it with others, because it's in the dental interest of the country.
okay. So my final question is, any message that you want to give to our audience, especially Indian audience, in terms of the oral health, oral care, oral hygiene?
One message that I'd love to end our chat today with is going to be that we all love for flowers to bloom, but there's one flower which can lead to your oral health doom. Get rid of a flowering toothbrush. Replace your toothbrush every 3 months. Issued in dental interest by Colgate.
Okay, Gunjit, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for such a candid conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Prashant. Was lovely being here.